Good morning, everyone. How are y'all doing? I'm with my co-host today, Joe. This is Drown Proof. We're going to help proof your lives in and out the water to help you, preventing you from not drowning today. Joe is here to talk about his swim story so that way you can feel excited and want to learn to swim. And guess what? He actually teaches swim lessons. So, Joe, I'm going to let you take the floor. I want you to tell us who you are at the first question. Well, who are you?
All right. First of all, thanks for having me on. My name is Joe. I started swim lessons at a very early age. It all started when I was when I was around about 5 or 6 years old. I had a little drowning experience. And when my mom witnessed that, she said it's time to take some swim lessons. So she pretty much, kept us in swim lessons. And of course, she was one of them strict moms that made sure we stuck with it. But
so y'all were like consistently doing swim lessons every year, kind of like what you see with teaching.
Right, right. We had to do it every summer, no matter what. And I remember when I first learned how to doggy paddle in the pool, I thought, it was, okay, I can swim in the deep end now. It's done. But she wanted us to learn how to, swim a whole lot more efficient. So she kept us in swim lessons a whole lot longer growing up and whatnot.
Okay. So like, did you ever have a bad experience during swim lessons? Like, was there a coach that you felt like, okay, like, was it a different coach every year? Was it the same coach every year? What was that experience like?
I actually remember my coach's name. His name was Cedric Casher, and I think
Mississippi.
In Mississippi.
Okay.
And it was another swim instructor named Sadikin. He had some, unique name or whatnot. But I mean, they were great coaches. Matter of fact, we actually reunited at the Y when I started lifeguard.
Okay.
Right. We actually right.
Where did you
I hired him. I hired him
when you went and started doing the swim team coach. That's what's up.
Right. When I started lifeguard.
Okay.
Lifeguard.
Gotcha. Yeah, where? Oh, okay. So at the Flowood YMCA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's how we met. We met at the Flowood YMCA. And I was doing laps and and we'll talk about that in a moment. So like when you were getting swim lessons from Sadiq and what's his name? Cedric. Where was this at? Was it in Jackson?
It was at the Battlefield Park Pool.
Oh, okay. Jackson. So the city of Jackson, Battlefield Park Pool.
Right.
When we all felt safe.
Right.
To go there. And so what did y'all do? Swim team? Like
that was really just basic swim lessons, learning, water safety, learning how to survive. And when we got more advanced, he started teaching us more freestyle and backstroke and breaststroke. When I got into that area, when I got to like the stroke development area, that was kind of challenging. That was a lot more challenging. But he was a good instructor. They pushed us. I mean, there was days where, I went home crying.
Because he worked you too much that day? Doing laps?
I
making sure you're doing it right.
Right. That too. And plus, when you first learn how to swim, everything can go good. And then sometimes you'll probably get that first big gulp of water. And then it'll kind of strike a fear back in your head or whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's important to keep it going. It's important to just keep learning and you just get more comfortable.
I just want to know what you just said, because sometimes you do get that gulp of water.
Right.
Sometimes you do sniff.
Right.
And some parents are like, oh my gosh, you messed up as an instructor because you made my child drink some water or sniff. And it's like, it's bound to happen. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to be prepared and ready. But the hope is you don't do it in the beginning because we don't want to traumatize you in the beginning. But once you get acclimated, get used to it, and you're learning to swim, sometimes it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And especially when you're moving too fast and you're not paying attention. And it's like, well, I need to pay attention every single time. Right. I mean, it's just sometimes just say, hey, slow down. But when you're in a race, who cares?
Right. We all human, so it's gonna happen. but you know, our job is to teach you how to react when it happens.
Exactly.
Or be more comfortable after that, you know, after it happens.
Right.
Because I'm in a lot of situations like I've been out in the deep end and beaches and stuff like that. And when you take that gut, I mean, you don't really have time to
gotta start treading and
you gotta keep
you
going.
Gotta cough and just calm down and keep going.
But that comes with experience and repetition.
That part. Don't just go out there and you just learn how to swim. You better have that life jacket on.
Exactly. And that's one thing I go over with all my students with water safety. No matter how well you can swim, if it's possible to have a lifeguard there, you want to make sure you have some type of lifeguard. Your lifeguard is your seatbelt.
Exactly.
That's how I look at it.
Exactly.
Even if you're Michael Phelps, you need a lifeguard there.
That part.
Or whatnot. Because anything can happen. Seizures, you know, heart attacks, you know, people can pass out, you know, major cramps, bad dehydration, you know, you need a lifeguard there. So
your lifeguard is your seatbelt. I like that. Right. You always got to put it on. If you don't, click it or tick it.
Right.
Right there.
Right.
So have you ever, well, I know you said your mom made y'all get swim lessons every year. So like, did y'all ever had a friend or loved one almost near drowning incident?
I mean, I've had one myself. I don't know if I already mentioned that earlier, but you know, I had one myself. And that's really what made us take the swim lessons.
What happened?
We was on this long road trip, and of course, we all get excited about having a pool at the hotel or whatnot. So it was just one of those typical days in the pool at a hotel. And I was a lot smaller then, so 3 feet was, you know, over my head pretty much. So I was used to, you know, grabbing, you know, I was in experiment mode in my brain. You know how you are 5, 6 years old or whatnot. So I'm doing a little crab walk on the side of the pool.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm kind of letting go a little bit, you know, letting go. And all of a sudden I let go a little bit too far. And I thought my life, I'm not going to lie, I thought my life was over.
Right.
But my older sister actually saved my life.
Thank God.
Yeah, she the one saved my life.
I had an incident like that, and I was on the swim team, and I didn't know how to tread. And we were trying to play hide and seek in the 5 feet area. I'm about 3.5, 4 feet, whatever. And I'm like, I can't touch the floor. And I'm on my friend, like, she was like, start swimming. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, how? And she was like, Kiana, you know how to swim. And I'm like, I get it, but I can't like get. I was just, I don't know what happened.
Did you take that gulp back then, or
I made her do it because I was on top of her.
Oh yeah, that's
and she was taller than me. She had me by like 3 or 4 inches, and I was just a short, fat kid. And the lifeguard grabbed me. He was just like, and he was one of the coaches on the swim team. He was just looking at me and shaking his head.
And I know this might be our subject, but that's another thing. You hit another subject. No matter how much you know how to swim, if you see somebody drowning and there's no lifeguard around, try to have some type of flotation device to, you know, push towards that drowning.
Reach or throw.
Yeah, don't ever try to go. Yeah, if you haven't had the proper training, don't try.
Exactly.
Otherwise, there'll be 2 victims.
Exactly. The other thing I wanted to ask you, so did you ever have to save somebody when you were working as a lifeguard?
Yes.
What happened?
3 times. I had one incident where it was this foreign dude. He walked up to me while I was on the stand and asked me how deep the pool was. And I told him, you know, how deep it was. And he walked up to the pool. He hopped in, and it looked like he was doing pretty good. He started a freestyle, but I noticed he wasn't breathing to the side just yet. So that made me, you know, keep a closer eye on him. So by the time he made it almost to the other side, he just, you know, broke out in panic mode. And of course, I had my lifeguard buoy on me, and I just jumped in and saved him or whatnot. And I had, you know, I had a lot of incidents. I've been in pool parties, where kids used to, you know, take the life jacket off and try to jump in the 4 feet.
What made you become a lifeguard?
Okay. Well, after we got done learning how to swim, I wasn't very efficient in swimming laps or whatnot. But my older sister, she had became a lifeguard, and when she became a lifeguard, she had pretty much had a good experience with it. She started lifeguarding at the city pools also, and that pretty much inspired me to go or whatnot. And she kept telling me that I need to do it. And at first, I didn't have the courage to do it because I really wasn't as efficient in my freestyle and my other strokes or whatnot. But she pretty much inspired me to do it. She kept telling me, you need to try it. You need to try it. And my biggest fear was wasting that money. But it was one of those things where, once you join, just don't quit. Just don't quit. You get a lot of people that quit and, get discouraged or whatnot. But the most challenging part was the prerequisites to me and the backboard. So
I can't stand the backboard.
I mean, I'm good at it now. We when I was working at the Y,
y'all
drilled on it.
Yeah,
so much,
especially with trade.
now.
Yeah,
it's automatic now. It became.
Yeah, for me, it's like a once a year thing with Ledbetter. Because he certified me every year, right. And I'm going back this year, and it's like I got it, but now I know I don't have it like you because that was drilled into you because of the job you had. Right. But yeah, like the backboard, I'm like,
and a lot of it depends on it's two things: communication and your secondary rescuer or your primary. It depends on who's helping you too.
Yeah, that part because he had two people to help him out with that. It wasn't just him by himself. Right. So with that help, it definitely helped him with the class. So it's not all on him by himself. So we need to try to do some work when I try to search for some lifeguards.
Oh yeah, backboard is
I'm like, here you take the but yeah, so I just want to say thank you for your story. We're going to talk about swim team now in our next segment, so don't go away from us. We're going to come back and talk about preparing for swim team, his swim team coaching experience, and what you can do to prepare so that way you can become a competitive swimmer and hopefully even compete on a national, international level. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Drown Proof. Bye.
Bye-bye.